Hello everyone. In continuation to our last session, the current video also comprises a few of the questions from the coordination compounds background, that is the D and F block element, in context to the SLAT examinations. Let us start solving each of them. Taking into consideration this first question that was appeared in 2019 SLAT exam, it says that which of the following metal cations have the same size? If you look into carefully, generally we have a trend that going down a periodic table or going from left to right in the periodic table, there is always a change in the atomic or ionic size. Generally, the size is found to decrease when we move from left to right, and generally the size is found to increase when we move from top to bottom. So these are the two scenarios, the decrease in the size and the increase in the size, respectively, with moving left to right and top to bottom. But in this, there is a very special chemistry point that is always remembered as lanthanoid contraction. Whenever we discuss this topic, lanthanoid contraction, we very well know that the lanthanoid series, that is atomic number 58 to atomic number 71, show a very high decrease in their atomic and ionic size. The atoms moving from 58 to 71 decrease at a very higher rate. Now, this decrement at a very higher rate is fundamentally called lanthanoid contraction, and it occurs because of the filling up of the newer electrons takes place in the inner orbit and not in the outer. When we are talking of lanthanoid, we should always remember that there are 6 orbits, and the electron, after getting filled in the 6th orbit as 6s2, in the 5th orbit as 5d1, gets occupied in the 4f orbit, starting from 4f1 to 14. So the electrons, rather than getting filled in the outer orbits, are filled in the inner orbits, due to which the attraction with the nuclei increases and it results in the shrinking of the atomic size, which is called lanthanoid contraction. Because of which it is very clearly stated that the element starting from 39 to 48 and then to 54, and the elements which are 57 and 72 onwards, they are always found to be of a similar size. So if you look into very carefully, element number 39, that is therium, element number 40, that is zirconium, exactly below which you have element number 57, that is lanthanum, and element number 72, that is hafnium. Between these, that is 57 to 72, all the elements fall into the lanthanoid group, due to which there is a sudden decrease in the size from element number 72 onwards. And therefore, friends, always remember, although these two are different periods, their atomic size definitely should be different, but because of this lanthanoid contraction occurring between element number 57 and 72, zirconium and hafnium are found to be of a similar size. Similarly, niobium 41 and molybdenum 42 are also found to have similar size with element number 73 and element number 74, respectively 73 tantalum and 74 tungsten. And because of this, the exact option which we could opt is zirconium and hafnium. Always remember, zirconium and hafnium, although are in a separate period, will always be of a similar ionic size because of this wonderful concept of lanthanoid contraction. Let us check another question from 2019. Which one of the following series contains only paramagnetic ions? Whenever these type of questions come, you should always be aware of the electronic configuration of the lanthanoids. If we check into the electronic configuration of lanthanoids, lanthanum, gadolinium and lutetium are the three elements having a very specific electronic configuration. For example, lanthanum 57 has xenon 54, 6s2, 5d1, 4f0. Gadolinium, which is 64, has xenon 6s2, 5d1, 4f7, and lutetium, which is 71, similarly has xenon 6s2, 5d1, 4f40. So, keeping into consideration these electronic configuration, we could very easily fetch our answers. See how? If you check very carefully, all the oxidation state given in all the options are plus 3. It means I am supposed to remove 3 electrons anyhow from any of these elements in their cationic form. So you are supposed to find only paramagnetic ions, so there should be unpaired electron present. So if I am able to find a series whole having an unpaired electron, I can win the situation. What was the reason for taking lanthanum, gadolinium and lutetium? Because these three are considered to be the most prominent element in this series, and you can see lanthanum and gadolinium over here, lutetium over here and lanthanum over here. So if I will prove them to be anyhow diamagnetic, those options will already get removed very easily. Let me check. If I am removing 3 electrons from here, that is La3 plus, friends, very confidently you can see that these two and this one electron will be gone, and so it will be xenon 6s0, 4f0 along with 5d0. As there are no unpaired electrons, it will not be paramagnetic, it will be diamagnetic, and therefore this option is directly getting out, because we are supposed to find the whole series only paramagnetic ions, but lanthanum itself is diamagnetic, so option A cannot be there. Considering gadolinium, and before going into gadolinium, friends, option D also has lanthanum, so this is also removed. Gadolinium has, as observed, you can check, gadolinium 3 plus, so this becomes 0, this becomes 0, but there are 7 f electrons, so friends, it is thorough paramagnetic with 7 unpaired electrons. So option number A, where we can find gadolinium and we were doubting it to be diamagnetic, but it is paramagnetic. But as lanthanum is diamagnetic, this option and this option, that is option A and option D, will not play a major role. Now looking for lutetium 3 plus over here. Lutetium again has 6s2, 5d1, 4f14. Friends, 4f14 is a completely paired suborbit. And according to our plus 2 chemistry, that is standard 11 and standard 12, we very well know that when all the electrons are paired, it plays a role of diamagnetic and not paramagnetic. Whereas as it is plus 3, these 3 electrons will be removed and henceforth it becomes diamagnetic. We are in search of paramagnetism. So again, this option is gone, resulting into removal of option C because of lutetium. So as option A, C and D are not there, definitely SLED 2019, option B is a correct answer to the question. I hope you are getting the concepts clear. Moving to another question. Which one of the following has high spin complex has the largest CFSC? Now, you can see that the coordination number in all the 4 complexes is 6. When the coordination number in all the 4 complexes is 6, it is fundamentally octahedral. And you very well know that the d5 orbitals gets splitted into two different groups, T2G and EG, where again T2G is having 3 orbitals and EG is having 2 orbitals. Now, the arrangement of electrons in this particular set of orbitals will help us solve this question. Let us check how. Taking the first example itself, MnH2O6 2 plus. This itself relates it to be Mn plus 2, and when it is Mn plus 2, argon 4s0 3d5. Friends, be very clear, when it is 3d5 and when we look into the structure very well, all are weak field ligands H2O, and therefore pairing will not take place, and henceforth when we split this orbital into two different energy levels, that is T2G and EG, and again fill up with the electrons, each orbital will have 1 electrons and no pairing will take place. So definitely it's a high spin complex. We will call it only a high spin complex where the electrons are in the higher excited state. Now, as we all know, each electron each electron in the lower state has some value of energy, and each electron in the higher state has some energy. Each electron in the lower state has minus 0.4 energy, and each electron in the higher state has plus 0.6 energy. Now, if I want to calculate CFSE, I need to very simply add T2G plus EG. Check. Each electron is minus 0.4. There are 3 such electrons, so the value will be minus 1.2. Each electron is plus 0.6 and I have 2 such electrons, so it will be plus 1.2. Simply adding it minus 1.2 plus 1.2, my answer will be 0. So the CFSE calculation for my first option resulted into a value 0. I hope you are getting it. Similarly, I have to count the CFSE values for all, and the option which carries the highest value for me will be my answer. And if I go accordingly, I am leaving it for you, option 2, 3 and 4 to be calculated from your own side. I will wait for your answer in the comment box, and let us just pick the answer so it becomes easier for you to solve. Option D is the correct answer. CrH2O6 3 plus. So my dear friends, it will be Cr plus 3. Fundamentally, argon 3d5 4s1 is the structure, but 3 are removed, so it becomes 3d3. And on the basis of 3d3, you are supposed to calculate the CFSE value and come up with the answer. I'll be waiting for your comment on this particular question. SLET 2019. I have given you one method to calculate the CFSE value where the answer is coming 0. Let us move ahead. Among the following pairs, the oxidation state of the metals will be highest state. Over here, Ni will be plus 2, cobalt will be plus 3, Mn will be plus 4, Fe will be plus 3, Mn will be plus 7, Cr will be plus 6, Fe will be plus 3, Co will be plus 3. So the highest oxidation state that I could found is option C. If I say MnO4 minus 1, my dear friends, Mn plus 4 into oxygen is equal to minus 1. Mn plus 4 into minus 2 is equal to minus 1. Mn is equal to minus 1 plus 8 plus 7. So this is correct. CrO2 Cl2, chromium plus 2 times oxygen plus 2 times chlorine. Chromium plus 2 into minus 2 plus 2 into uh, minus 1 equals to 0. Cr minus 6 equals to 0. Cr equals to plus 6. Mn equals to plus 7. So this is how it works. This is the pair having the highest oxidation state. I hope you are clear with this. Let us move ahead. Coordination compounds, hybridization, these are few of the very important topics that come under the SLET examination, SLET 2018. You need to calculate for this complex the coordination number and oxidation state for chromium. If you look into the example, the very first thing that comes across you is C2O4, 2 minus the oxalato ligand, and oxalato ligand has coordination number 2. So there are 3 such oxalato ligands. So 2 multiplied by 3, 6. So the coordination number will be 6. You do not have any other option. So this is itself correct, but will not fall in such so straightforward. We will just think about the oxidation state also. Chromium C2O4 3. As it is K3, I'll write minus 3 on the top. Cr plus 3 times C2O4 is equal to minus 3. Each C2O4 is minus 2, minus 3, minus 3 plus 6, plus 3. So oxidation state is plus 3. So oxidation state is plus 3. Coordination number is 6. So 6 is the coordination number and plus 3 is the oxidation state. Option C is absolutely correct. SLET 2018. What is the coordination number of chromium in the following ligand containing complex? NH3 is a unidentate ligand, so can donate only one pair of electron, and there are two such amine, so it will be 2. And you should very well know that AMMINE is the spelling used for NH3 in coordination complex. H2O, although has two lone pair, but ligand chemistry is a directional chemistry, so only one pair will be participating, and henceforth it is also a unidentate ligand. So again 2, so the sum of these two is 4. So there are in all 4 ligands, so the coordination number will be 4. So the coordination number over here is 4. So chromium has a coordination number 4 in this complex. If someone would have gone with the oxidation state, it is 3, plus 3. Which of the following compounds is colorless? Friends, just a very easy way to diagnose such question. It was 2017. Fe, copper, cadmium and Fe. Looking to these three metals itself, Fe, copper and cadmium, and if we check their oxidation state, Fe is plus 3, copper is plus 2 and cadmium again is plus 2 along with another Fe plus 2. If you just go through the oxidation state and try to arrange the electrons, it will be 3d5 4s0, 3d9 4s0, 3d6 4s0, and friends 4d10 5s0. 4d10 5s0. This is the only suborbit 4d where all the electrons are paired, and you very well know when all the electrons are paired, the transition from a lower to a higher state will not take place. And if this transition of T2G and EG will not occur because all the orbitals are completely filled, there are no chances of absorbing of the light, and therefore no color is observed. Whereas in the rest 3 options, if you check carefully, you will find a lot number of unpaired electrons which undergo transitions. So transition occurs. This transition leads to absorption, and that leads to the Vibgyor theory of absorption. But in this particular case, no color, no transition, nothing. So option B is the correct one where it is colorless. Just think in a particular direction of your undergrad and postgraduate studies along with your plus 2 basics. I am confident that we would be able to clear the exams. Next one. The d orbital used in the dsp2 hybridization is, always remember friends, when there is a dsp2 hybridization and you have NiCN4 twice or any such molecules, your most focus will be dsp2, and the geometry related to dsp2 is always found to be square planar. So when your geometry itself is square planar, you can very well say that your central metal must be having all ligands in one plane. And when you have all your ligands in one plane and you are denoting it like this square planar, among the 5 d orbitals, dxy, dyz, and dzx cannot be considered because they are not on the axis. Only the x square minus y square and the z square are axial. And if you look into carefully, this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. And therefore, the only orbital that fits in is dx square minus y square, which is justified very well over here. Dx square, dy square. So the correct option is option A for this particular questions. So I hope we are very clearly done with the questions from SLET, where we are covering the coordination complex. Hope we'll be meeting soon with something else. Thank you.